would be in the ghastly body until his age is finished. Then he takes another body. So in this way, it is harmful to both of us. So one should not be envious. That is the teaching. Although one is sometimes permitted to sacrifice an animal before God is Kali, because people's tongue, they are so much addicted to eating meat, their taste of the meat. So they are so much addicted. So some Shastras in mode of passion and ignorance, mostly in ignorance, they allow, okay, now you cannot control your tongue, then at least this is for restriction. Then you kill an animal in front of your goddess Kali, only in fortnight, once in a month, in the dark night, means Amosha ke din. So at least it is only once in a month, not every day business. They offer, and then you could eat that. But you tell in the ear of that goat that mansa means I'm killing you now, you will kill me in the next life. So who will like to do it if they understand the meaning of mansa? Yeah, what I have done, you will do the same thing to me. And so that is, and you may say that what about yagyas which allow sacrifices like horse sacrifices? They will bring a old horse and he will get a new body, and it is to test the mantra, that whether mantra is pure, whether the Brahman knows the mantra. They used to ignite the fire by itself. So, but really yagya are meant to satisfy. Yagya is sankirtana praya. Yajanti Sumedasa. That Sumedha, people who have good intelligence, then that is the Sankirtan Yajna. Different ages and different processes, like Satyuga had meditation, Treta Yuga was so many yagyas, Dwapar Yuga, so many elaborate worship in the temple. Even in ISKCON temple, if somebody want to do the same way at home, it's very difficult. So many times offering, so many pujaris, so many brahmanas, so much purification, so many clothings, so all these things. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing the degraded age, then he came up with chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is so easy. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, eva kevalam kalao in Kali Yuga. Kalao nasteva, 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 gatiranyatha. There is no other gati, there is no other destiny other than to take the holy name of the Lord. So one is sometimes permitted to sacrifice an animal before the goddess Kali and eat it instead of purchasing meat from a slaughterhouse. Permission to eat meat after a sacrifice in presence of the goddess Kali is not. This is not the order. Kali is not the order of the supreme of Godhead. It is simply a concession for the miserable person who will not give up eating meat. It is meant to restrict the desire for unrestricted meat eating. So only once in a month, and then also you say them that you will kill me in the next life. Then who would be such a foolish person that who will kill and then he has to get the reaction of being killed by the same animal? Such a religious system is condemned. Therefore, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam shranam. Give up all the religiosity, so-called religiosity. Like demigod worship and yagya, and for this age, yagya is sankirtan yagya, not killing animals. Just like varnashram, you get married if you cannot restrict your senses, then get married, have sex, but it is all under the dharma, all under the duty, all under to please Krishna. Dharma means to please Krishna. We are meant for Krishna. Krishna has given us birth. We are his energy, we are his Shakti, and we have to serve the Shaktiman. So give all other duties and surrender unto me. That is the last word in religion. One may argue that the sacrifice of animals is recommended in the Vedas. This recommendation, however, is a restriction. Without Vedic restriction on the purchase of meat, people all purchase meat from the market, which will be just like in America. It is a produce. They don't call it. It is a slaughtered meat, but it is a produce, means like fruits and vegetables. And so they call it it's a fruits and vegetables. They don't think that killing that animal is killed and they wrap it nicely. How about like this eating eggs? Most of the and then when those little chuja or chickens are there, and they give birth to many, and it's every day they have to produce an egg. They inject with some hormones or something, so they could produce 360 eggs. Otherwise, normally it is one egg in a month, 12 eggs in a year, but they produce 360 and they cut off their beak so they don't hurt each other. And it's such a cruelty, such a painful stage. And then you have to go through the same cruelty again. If you have cut the beak of 1,000 birds, then your beak would be cut off for many, many times more even. So you have to take that many lifetimes and would be killed. So if you allow meat purchase, so anybody, okay, it's a produce, let me go and buy meat. So much more meat eating would be there. But sacrificing in front of the Kali, but that is not instruction that you just, everybody should do it. It's to restrict people from eating meat. So that will overflood with meat shops and slaughterhouses will increase. That is happening without following the Vedic injunction. To restrict this, sometimes the Vedas say that one may eat meat after sacrificing an insignificant animal like a goat before the goddess Kali. In any case, a system of religion in which animal sacrifices are recommended is inauspicious. It is not proper. It is detrimental for those who perform the sacrifice and for the animals also. Envious persons who perform ostentatious animal sacrifices are condemned in Bhagavad Gita. So this is 16-17 verse from Bhagavad Gita. Atma sambhavita stabdha dhanamana madanvita yante nama yeste dambhena avidhi purvakam, self complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige. They sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules and regulations. I am doing sacrifice, but it is not a yajna. That is real yajna is Sankirtan yajna, or this Kali Yuga. Ahankar, bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. A demonic person being always against God's supremacy, does not like to believe in the scriptures, is envious of both the scriptures and the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is caused by his so-called prestige and his accumulation of wealth and strength. He does not know that the present life is a preparation for the next life. Not knowing this, he is actually envious of his own self as well as others. He commits violence on other bodies and on his own, because he has to go through so many terrible status after the death. He does not care for the supreme control of the personality of Godhead because he has no knowledge. Being envious of the scriptures and the supreme personality of Godhead, he puts forward false arguments against the existence of God and denies the scriptural authority. He thinks himself independent and powerful in every action. He thinks that since no one can equal him in strength, power, or wealth, he can act in any way and no one can stop him. If he has he has an enemy who might check the advancement of his sensual activity, he makes plans to cut him down by his own power. So nobody can in front of him. So to such a person who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. They are born into many demonic species of life. That is what happens. Atma, okay. And they are doing this in the name of yajna, but it is not really yajna. Are not actually yajna. Yajna means to satisfy the supreme personality of Godhead, yajna purush. Therefore, it is recommended that in this age, specifically, yajna sankirtana prahe yajanti sumedasa. So there is a nice verse for this. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yajna Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. One with good intelligence, they always perform Sankirtan Yajna. In the age of Kali, Intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. That is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although his complexion is not blackish, means Krishna Avarnam. He is not Krishna Varna. Krishna Akrishnam. He is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So, what is his weapons? Is his all associates. They are his shastras and weapons. And so, in Srimad Bhagavatam and both places, Chaitanya Charitamrita, this verse is given. Jiva Goswami explained that this verse is his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna, who appears with a golden complexion, that golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent man in this age. Yagya Sankirtana Prayahi, intelligent man. So that is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni. He said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in three other colors, red, white, and yellow. So that yellow color is golden age. He exhibited his white and red complexions in Satya and Treta Yuga, respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color yellow, gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaura Hari. Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varna means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. But Krishna Varna, the name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya Krishna. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme personality of Godhead. But he always engages in describing Krishna and is enjoying transcendental. Krishna Varnam means he describes about Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by chanting and remembering his name and form, Sri Krishna himself appears as Lord Chaitanya to preach the highest gospel. Varna Yati means utters or describes. Varna Yati, Varna means he utters. Always chants the holy name of the Lord Sri. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe to others. One time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went out of his path and went to a dhobi who was washing his clothes. And he became that, why this sannyasi has come to me? Does he need his clothes to be washed or something? So he says, no. He caught hold of his hand and he says, chant holy name. Then he became so mad that he was chanting until he's completely tired. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left after a few minutes. His wife came. She says, what happened to my husband? So she caught hold of his hand and she also started dancing. At a whole village, and wherever these people they went, then those villages also started chanting the holy name. Such is the power of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who made the elephants and deers and lions jump and chant in human voice. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges in the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone is Krishna, either by personality or sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Sangopanka is the Parshadam, means his Parshad, his associates. Indicated Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments and sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of this age. Means everybody would be attracted to him because of his uncommon beauty. In other descendants, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat, but now his weapon is his own beauty, the demonic. But in this age, the Lord subdues them with his all attractive figure is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that his beauty is his astra or weapon to subdue the demons. Because he is all attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When he propagated the Sankirtan movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Odisha. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates, like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Panchatattva. Shri Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literature that says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam, Tusha Akrishnam indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should come together and chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples, or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere, people can chant Hare Krishna. Thus, worshipping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the person, the Supreme Lord. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, the principle of transcendental devotional service having been lost, means transcendental devotional service is Chaitanya, is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Sri Krishna Chaitanya has appeared to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love of Krishna. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet. As humming bees are attracted to a lotus flower. The incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also described in Vishnu Sahasranam and others. Shuranavarno Hemango Varangas Chandana Gati Sannyasa Krata Chamaha Shanto Nistha Shanti Parayana. In his later pastimes, he accepted the sannyas order and is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the emperor's list of non-devotees. So people, this is 2 verses are being quoted from Bhagavad Gita, 16, 18, and 19. These persons are condemned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as indicated by the words Tava Kopaha. A person who commits murder is envious of himself and also the person he has killed. For we will describe about how he is envious of himself. For the result of committing murder is that he will be arrested and hanged. If one transgresses the laws of a man-made government, he may escape being killed by the state, but one cannot escape the laws of God. A killer of any animal must be killed in his next life by the same animal. This is the law of nature. One must follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam shranam braja. If one follows any other system of religion, he is subject to punishment by any other system that is man-made or came. This Varnashram Dharma is Sanatan, eternal. It's all the time there. Anything that appears in between, it would get finished after some time. Maybe 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years. It cannot last. He is subject to punishment by the Supreme. So therefore, if one follows a concocted system of religion, he is envious not only of others but also of himself. So his system of religion is useless. So dharma swanistita punsham. So this is from Srimad Bhagvatam. This verse, dharma swanistita punsham vikshvakshena katha suya notpadayedi ratim shama eva hi kevalam. Duties, dharma, executed by man, regardless of occupation, are only so much useless labor. Means the duties that one, if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Lord. So you should have rati, tava kathamratam tapta jivanam. So that is, and this barren land, that is rain, and then everything just grows. So this chanting is a very, very essential. Sankirtan Yajna is very, very essential. So whatever occupation, most of the temples, and they allow certain people of their own group, not but anyone who should be allowed to come in the temple, whatever temple it may be, and it should provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Lord. Message that is given in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it should provoke attraction to read more Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant the holy name constantly. So different occupation. So activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialists who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. They just see the senses and want to enjoy. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to and concentrated and extended selfishness. Like if I like my body, senses together, means I feel that I am the body. And then bodily extensions, wife, children, home, country, nation, universe, everything, but that is all selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body that is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort. Above these gross materialists are the mental speculators. Above gross sensuals, then there is mental sensuousness, who hover aloft in the mental sphere. Yavat jivet sukam jivet rinam kritva kartam jivet. That whatever, who knows that once the body is burned to ashes, how you will be able to enjoy. They don't think that soul passes from one body to another and they have to take another birth again. That is not there. They just want to ignore that. All the scientists, and they are all foolish and they are doomed. Why? Because they don't teach the science of Krishna. Philosophers are propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness, limited to the body and the mind. But above the body and mind is the dormant spirit, whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spirit soul. If the spirit soul is gone, the body is dead. And along with, you want to be happy, so happiness would come from when you join with the person who is ananda, who is full of ananda, full of juice. Raso vaisa, rasam yavayam labdha anandi. Foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind. They are not satisfied in performance of their occupational duty. They question the question of satisfaction of the self is raised herein. How one can be satisfied. So just by going to Swarga Lok or Jan Lok or Brahma Lok, one cannot be satisfied. It has to be go back home, back to Godhead. So Srimad Bhagvatam, duties are executed by men regardless of occupation are only so much useless labor if they do not, like you are husk the rice, the paddies that you beat again and again, where there is nothing is left, then what you will get? You will get, there is no rice again because rice has been taken out. When you chew the sugar cane itself, and all the juice is gone, then you are again trying to eat it. It's a chewing the chew, vantasi. If you have vomited and then you eat the vomitus, you have thrown it and you want to enjoy that again. So it does not, it should, anything religious system should provoke attraction for the message of Supreme Lord. Following a system of religion that does not awaken one's Krishna consciousness or God consciousness is merely a waste of time and labor. So only with these scriptures, what is described and about Krishna, that is the real purpose of human life, to study, to understand those, and not to really get tempted by some concocted religion, concocted sadhu. One should not get attracted to all those. So we'll discuss, this is like teaching about how one can be envious of others, and then the holy name that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught. Some interesting. All the foes means six ripu. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So all the foes are within Matsarya. Matsarya means enviousness. It is clearly understood that by misunderstanding the nature of our true self, in other words, due to Swarup Brahma means we understand that, oh, we are the body, that is Swarup Brahma, we are soul, that is the seed of lust sprouts in our heart. When we have Swarup Brahma, then lust sprouts, let me enjoy. because we think that we don't know because the body is made of the senses together, and senses would like to be satisfied by sense gratification. So he works hard to gratify the senses, but he's never satisfied. One cannot satisfy any lust, any amount of lust cannot be satisfied by any amount, whatever you may give to it. So lust sprouts in the heart and gradually grows. This is the ignorance, agyanta, that we are a spirit soul. There is no need to satisfy our senses. It develops into envy, the sending prema, which is jaiva dharma, or the true nature of the all living entity, far away. Lust, anger, hence lust, that is calm, growth, love, delusion, that is moha, and pride, mud, are all included in envy, matsarya. Lust is included in anger. Lust and anger are both included, lust and anger, in greed, and lust, anger, and greed are within delusion. And lust, anger, and greed and delusion are all found within pride, which refers to all kinds of pride, including pride in one's wealth, in one's beauty, in one's bodily powers, prowess, in one's high caste, and in one erudition. But envy, matsarya, encompasses all this lust, anger, greed, delusion, and all kinds of pride. All sorts of miseries are included in envy, and a man prone to envy is devoid of compassion for other living beings. All the miseries of the living being are truly embodied in envy. Two types of ignorance, namely unrighteous ignorance and righteous ignorance. Wicked acts and desire to act wickedly. Pap and Papa Vasana. So Pap can be finished by chanting the holy name. Pap Vasana, again, only by, not by any atonement. Only if you chant properly, then only this Pap Vasana will go away. The principle of Vaishnavism, Vaishnava Dharma, namely compassion for all living centers, Jivadaya, that is, to give them Krishna consciousness. The loving inclination to chant the holy name, Name Ruchi, and service to the Vaishnavas, Vaishnava Seva, stand directly opposed to the conditions of envy. So envious person would not do any Vaishnava Seva, would not have any Name Ruchi or Jivadaya. Those who feel distress upon seeing the happiness of others can never feel compassion for the living entity, and their hearts can never be suffused with the nectar of love of God. They maintain hatred and jealousy towards Vaishnavas, a hatred that arises from the long-standing distortion of their constitutional nature. By nature, constituted nature, that we are soul, part and parcel of God, part of God. We are this energy. We are like there are so many sparks in the fire. They float and they are shiny, but once they fall, then they are gone. So we have fallen away from the sparks. We are fallen away from the rays. Sun rays are there, and there are many particles, but we have gone away from that also. Only those who are free from envy can embrace the import of the even humbler than the grass. They can only understand Tanadapi Sunichena, Taro Iva Saishruna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtani Sadhari. Only he who feels lower than a blade, a grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who expects no honor for himself, but who is able to give the due respect to all others, is qualified to perpetually chant the holy name of Hari. Who is free from envy, possesses no false pride for wealth, beauty, high caste, education, or mundane physical strength, and therefore regards himself as even more insignificant. Sunichena, than a blade of grass. Such a person who is also free from anger, aggressiveness, and violence. On account of that, he is even more tolerant. Sahishnuna. Sahishnuna means tolerance than a tree. That is, he is exceedingly compassionate. Then he will have compassion for all other living beings. How he could kill others. So any religion which teaches you killing animals because of the envy, then that is not really any religion. It should produce love for Krishna. It should produce love for his praja, his everybody, all the living being, including even fish and others. A person such as this, who is free from envy and false pride in his caste, education, and so on, despite of being blessed with all the virtues, never craves recognition or adoration from others. He does not want to be recognized by others. That he is amanina, manadena, one who does not expect honor from anyone. That person, being free from envy, always feels happiness in the happiness of others. If others are happy, he should be happy, and pain in their sorrow. And so he treats all living being with due honor. Manada, he gives man to all others, but he does not accept any man from others, any adoration from others. In general, by being compassionate towards all living beings, he shows respect to them all by offering great honor to noble souls like Brahmanas, that is priest, and Vaishnava Praya, unperfected Vaishnavas. He pleases them, and while devoting himself to the lotus feet of the perfected Vaishnavas, he serves them. So the service is more necessary. We should not become envious. That is opposite. Envious means it is Brahmana and Krapana. Krapana is envious. We know that Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya. We are in ignorance. We should go to the Jyoti, means personality of Godhead, or Jyoti means where there is light with knowledge. Knowledge is the real light. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amratam gamaya. That every there is death 100%. We should go to the path of amratatva. Like Prabhupada used to give a story of a bird, when bird is inside a cage. And a little girl was so much fond of seeing the cage and seeing this, polishing it every day and looking at it, but she forgot to take care of the bird himself. Gradually, the bird died. So our soul is dying, and we are still enamored by the body, bodily beauty, bodily power, bodily strength, or bodily the prestige. So it's all things are going to be doomed. So why not to follow this scriptural injunction and go back home, back to Godhead, rather than becoming envious of others? He spent so much money, I will show him. I will spend more money in marriage or in some kind of show to put others down, which is not necessary. So, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigra, and so Nam Chintamani Krishna. Krishna is Nam Chintamani. Chintamani is a touchstone, and Nam itself is a touchstone. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukta Abhinatvam Namamayana. It is Purna Shuddha. It is completely free. Nitya Mukta Abhinatvam Namanamina. Nam and Nami. There is no difference. Nam and Nami. And so whose name it is? Nam is like Hare Krishna mantra, and Nami is Krishna, or Ram. Ram was floating all this stone whenever there was a name. But if the Ram throw that stone, it dipped down. So if it is away from Ram, if Ram is throwing, it cannot float. So it is sweet also. This name is sweet, like sweet candy. And Krishna's name, there is not only greatness, but it is sweet also. Rupa Goswami has done written in Vidagdha Madhava about name, but Mahaprabhu Purnamas is singing this slok because for Krishna, this Radharani was so much attractive that whenever she used to see or hear the name of Krishna, she immediately becomes very pleased, very smiling, and in separate bhav, anivarchaniya bhav. You cannot describe what kind of bhav. So Purnamasi is saying these words. Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanate Tundavali Labdhaye Karnakro Koda Kadambini Gatayate Karnar Budembya Spraham Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kratim No Jane Janita Kriya Bhirakratai Krishneti Varnadvayi. she is saying that Krishna, these two names, how much nectar is there in these two words? Then whenever anybody does the chanting of the holy name, that from the name that comes out of the mouth or inside, it is dancing that name inside, and it gives. Then you desire to have so many mouths and so many ear. When it enters the ear holes, then one would like to have so many ears. And when it is dancing in the heart, that name, then it captures your mind intelligence, and then his indriya becomes jad. They cannot move, they cannot do anything. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he read these words, then he became very, very happy. He started dancing and started praising about this word. There was a poor Brahmana who went to and he was worshipper of Lord Shiva. And Shiva said that you go to Sanatana Goswami. He will give something. He wanted to get his daughter married, and he wanted some heavy amount, gold like that. He went to Sanatana Goswami and he says, okay, you need some help, then go to that garbage place. And then there is some stone, you bring it. He brought the stone and he says, touch it with any iron, and it become gold. Then he become very happy. So he said, yes, come in. आइए, दरवाजा खुला है. हाँ, वो अंदर तरफ. So Shivji said that you go to Sanatana Goswami, and then he gave that touchstone, but he paras money. Then he thought this Brahmana was intelligent, that he must have how he could throw such a valuable stone in the garbage. So he must have something higher. So he says, throw that stone in the Yamuna river and then come to me. So he threw it in the. Then one elephant was walking and his chain became golden. And then king he removed. He tried to find it out of Akbar Barsha at that time. He tried to, but he could not find that. Because he was doubted that why did he throw it such a valuable thing. So he said that I will give you. Then he gave him the Hare Krishna mantra, then which is much more higher than this Parasmani. So name has so much importance, and one should be attracted to the holy name. निरंतर नाम लो कर तुलसी सेवन अचिरा तावे तबे Krishna Charan. So one can get the Krishna Charan lotus feet of the Lord without any achirat, means immediately. So one will get the Charan Kamal like lotus feet of Krishna by Sharanagati. Just like Haridas Thakur was like he was chanting 3 lakhs names every day. That is like almost 192 rounds of holy name. And so it would take him like 20 to 22 hours. So one prostitute was sent by one Muslim, and he put him down. Most beautiful he selected a prostitute, and she went to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, okay, come sit me. I could not finish my rounds. So she was listening. All night has gone. The day has broken. And he says, I could not finish my rounds. So I'm sorry. She went home, again dressed nicely, came second day, and Haridas Thakur asked him to sit at the door, and she was hearing the chanting of the pure devotee. And then third, still he could not finish. I'm sorry, but third day I will fulfill your desire. She comes the third day, and then she fell at the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, said that please forgive me. I was sent, I'm a prostitute, I was sent by Ramchandra Khan and to put you down and catch you red-handed because you are so famous. And he became very envious. Otherwise, what he had to do, if somebody is famous, let them be famous. They have done something in the past life nicely, but he could not tolerate that, and he wanted to put him down. So anybody who kills some animal, that he is envious of others, that he is meant for me. I'm big, but we are all equal, whether it is, we are all equal children of Krishna, and we should respect every soul. and give them Krishna consciousness by bringing them back to the lotus feet of Krishna. That is real Jiv Daya. Otherwise, you are enviousness, then you will kill yourself and you will hurt yourself because you have to take birth again and again and again. And so these are very nice instruction if one can take to their heart and not to become envious. That is the main key. So how we could be this material creation? So we take reincarnation. This is Uddhav Gita. How do materialistic people accept various bodies? So Krishna is saying the mind shaped by reactions of fruitive actions goes from one body to another and the soul follows the mind. So first the mind goes there. Let me enjoy like this. Let me become like this. Become like a pig or dog or something. We give to our children many toys like pig-like shape or boar-like shape and who sleeps. So this is mechanism behind reincarnation. Death is the forgetfulness of one's identity with the old bodies to get absorbed in the pleasures and pains of the subsequent new body. Birth is a person's total identification with a new body. A materially conditioned soul accepts a new body as real. Similarly, to how while sleeping one accepts a dream as reality, or one thus spiritually asleep, spiritually sleeping and meditating on sense gratification, the cycle of repeated birth and death that continues. So Bhikshu Gita and they're all there. So how we can transform? This is all because of the modes what we are in. The bodily conception can also be transcended by understanding how the three modes affect a soul. The Jiva soul attains a particular nature by the association of modes that combine with each other to produce various effects. All of these changes ultimately arise from the mind. First, by increasing the mode of goodness in devotion, one defeats passion and ignorance. So passion and ignorance will go away if we take to Krishna consciousness by increasing our mode of goodness. Because they're all combination, these three modes, and various proportions. Just like three color you make, and you could make billions of colors. Upon attaining pure love for Krishna, the mode of goodness is subverted and one is placed in transcendence, divya. Once free of the material modes, one goes up his subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego, and attains direct association of the Supreme Lord and achieves absolute fulfillment. So we have to watch that whether our bird is happy or not. We should look. There are two birds in a tree, and the other bird is Paramatma. The one bird is eating bitter and sweet fruits of the tree. Never looks at the other bird, but other birds accompanies him everywhere. That one day may come that he will turn to me. One day will come. Sometimes Krishna allows him to enjoy more and more. So when you get once tired of this drinking and intoxication and woman hunting, and one gets tired, then he feels that, oh, it's disgusted. Then so sometimes Krishna does it. He gives him more and more chance to enjoy his senses, which one cannot enjoy. So he feels disgusted, and then Krishna brings him back, brings him back to his lotus feet. So I will add here, we read different thing about the effect of envy. I will just read that verses in many once again, so you know what we are talking about and how a lusty person and Krodhi or how all these things. So text number 32, just I will read the meaning. How can a religious system that produces envy of oneself and of others be beneficial for oneself and for the other person to whom he is envious? What is auspicious about following such a system? And like, what is actually to be gained by causing pain to one's own self due to self-envy and by causing pain to others? One arouses your anger and practices irreligion. Your anger means Krishna's anger. So savai punsham parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. For every savai punsham, punsham is the living being. Parodharma, the supreme religious system, the topmost. Yato Bhakti, by which your bhakti, devotion or surrender to Krishna is awakened. Ahetuki, it should be without any hetu, without any material gain, without any material profit, adoration, distinction. Ahetu, apratyata, it should not be interrupted by any means. Apratyata, continuously, nirantar. Apratyata, yayatma soul, that by which the soul would be very much pleased. Soul and super soul, both are pleased by this kind of dharma, which induces faith in Krishna, faith in hearing, faith in chanting, faith in scriptures. So we should try to do that, and that way we could be elevated to, we could be able to go back home, back to Godhead, or become Jivan Mukti in this life itself, by associating or transferring to the other planet where Krishna is enacting his pastimes. So if anyone has any comments, questions, please unmute and let us talk.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. There's such a nectarian class on touching on the fundamentals of the consciousness required to do Bhagavad Dharma. Nicely expounded in the verse, and your association in your nectarian words made it so. I mean, it entered the heart. Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, I was. Yeah, the envy is also part of the religious system. See, in the tamasic realm, in the realm of ignorance, there is this black magicians. They do some process by means of which somebody else harm will be done. Harm will be done on somebody else. Yeah, that black magic, that kala jadoo, that is also. Yeah, and then even in the mode of passion also, I want this and that. That is also actually started. I mean, by comparing oneself with others. That is basically started from the envy only. So
Yes.
yeah, but Bhagavad Dharma is so pure, so purifying, so gives heart a lot of pleasure, because all the
Understood. I
anarthas.
will say that you understood and you're describing these words, nectarian words that you are describing. It is all because of envy, that we want to kill somebody, we want to put somebody down, we want to show them up, I will show him up, or what he thinks of himself. Who am I? He does not know. So all these things, they're all equal. Whether it is a Shudra, cat, dog, Pandita Samadarshina. A Pandita is equal to everybody. Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Sunicheva, Topakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. Pandita should, that there is Paramatma in him, is also a soul part of Krishna. So that should be the thought, rather than he's lower, he's an animal, what he can do, let me kill him, let me eat him away. So that is very, very, because of the envy, very demonic. And Krishna throws them into so many species in the, not only in Nark life, but also in species where they suffer miserably. So very nicely said. You could continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, only in goodness and beyond and transcendence do we become free from the lower modes and the associated guna, the anarthas. So then that
Right.
purifies, and that gives Atma Suprasidati nicely is captured in that. So only the heart will be peaceful. The soul will get happiness only when these anarthas go away. Otherwise,
Right.
it is binding us to the material world.
When we connect with the source of Anand, we have no envy, and we have Krishna's name on our tongue.
Yes.
It will remove all the. If we chant regularly, it will remove all the anarthas, and we will understand who we are. That we are Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Das Anand Das.
Yes. Krishna must be there. Otherwise, it will be like dry philosophy, like the Mayavadis. It is correct.
Right.
That is hard, and hard.
to others, or he does not teach love of Godhead, then an equality of all living being, then that is not dharma. That is, it may be whatever the name you may call it, doesn't matter, but it should produce love to Krishna and love to all living beings. And you should try to lift them also, not becoming envious.
Yeah.
Anyone else has any comments or questions?
Nirvaira sarvabhuta.
Krishna?
Nirvay mat chitta mat sorry mat karma krit mat parama mat bhakta sangha varjita. I was thinking of this verse. Nirvaira sarvabhutesu yasamamiti pandava. So,
Right. Yes, yes. Nirvaira sarvabhutesu. Then he is real Pandit, learned. Matchitta matagata prana bodhayanta paraspara.
yes.
Okay. Nice comment, bro.
Please, Maharaj. All your mercy, Maharaj.
And by Krishna's mercy, Prabhupada's mercy. I am no one. But anyway, we could discuss those things, what they are saying. Like a peon is delivering. Postman.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhawan Pranam,
And-
Jashupad.
Hare Krishna, Radha Raman Prabhu. Thank you so much for staying for more than an hour with the talk.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Very nice class. So, Maharaj, I have a question. When Narada Muni invoked that departed soul, it was just to educate all of us about what our position is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is to educate us.
Right.
The soul did come, but it was to educate us. Educate Maharaj Chitraketu. At the time of death, he became enlightened. He became fully Krishna conscious, and he got the vision within 6 days. He could see Lord Narayan.
Right.
And he got an aeroplane, man, to just travel.
Hmm. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dharmat Pranam. Such a nice class, Maharaj. So, as you was explaining that we have Paramatma as in our the soul and Paramatma we both have in every body. So sometimes if we are traveling or like that and we forget, we put something our bag in aeroplane and like small thing and we forget. So that time Paramatma is there and he knows everything as per our philosophy. Then, but he didn't remind us that there is a bag, you can take it. So how we can see this thing, Maharaj?
When we do that every time, the Paramatma, first time, second time, 10th time, but if you don't listen, then he ignores. So it is habit. Out of habit, one takes something and puts in their bag or takes it away. But it is a habit. And Krishna does give you the instruction as super soul, but not every time. First few times is fine, but if he doesn't listen, in material world also we do the same thing. If somebody, he doesn't listen, so they don't give any instruction. Okay?
Yes, Maharaj. Okay. Or sometimes we can take it like it's Krishna's will wish that we forgot it like that. It's good for us.
It's not Krishna's will. But anyway, it is like you are paying and then there is some earphone or something and it is they throw it and you take it, that's all right. There is some sweets or something, crackers or nuts are there in the flight. And then if you take it, it's you have the right to eat that.
Yeah.
Like water bottle. That's okay. So just
Right, water
little-
bottle.
Yeah.
It was small thing like water bottle like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's Krishna
Okay.
knows that is it out of envy or out of just stealing or it is just out of need that you need to drink in the hot summer some water. Yeah, so they throw the bottle anyway. I go to some bank and they offer me a water bottle. Then I drink a little, but then I bring it home because nobody would drink it afterwards. I can't the above, so that's okay. Neither the bank person feels bad.
Okay. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So anyone else? Any? That's it? Should we start?
Yes, Maharaj. So, Vanchakalpatarvyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Antakoti Vaishnavrindu ki jai, Namaste Tulas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Maharaj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai,
Jai.
Samik Rishi Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.